We're back. Long time no see. Just got back. No, I didn't just. I got back to Korea like a week ago, and to be honest, I just want to play video games all day. So that's what I've been doing. But also, I'm here to announce that after when was the last time I lived alone? Like alone. 2018, 2018. The two roommates that I had fully left. They're often in another country anyway, so they figured like, oh, it's kind of like a waste for us to be spending money on this place that we don't really visit. And you know, when they do visit Korea, they want to visit their family now. So they're like, let's just leave. And I was like, okay. So I'm finally living alone again. And honestly, y'all, I feel like that's part of the big reason why. Because remember back then, I would post a lot. But that's because I lived alone and I was comfortable with just filming by myself. But then, you know, I had roommates, so it was kind of like awkward to film sometimes, a lot of the time. But yeah, now I'm fully alone and as you can see, what used to be my bedroom that you guys saw, that I filmed many of my videos in, is now my office slash makeup slash filming room. So originally my PC, sorry, please don't mind the mess, here, which is where I would always film, was on that wall. I don't know if you guys have probably never seen this wall because it was on that side. So it would be filming this way where you would see my bed and my window, but that's in front of me now. So I get the natural light, kind of. Still use these lights. And so I've just been rearranging my entire fucking house, and now that I have a dedicated space for filming, I don't have to set up my shit every single time that I film, and I can just start recording. I still have to buy connectors for, oh my god, hold on, let me turn this light on. Yes. I have to buy, you see this pile right here? I have to buy connectors so that I can put it like at the corner of the wall so that it continues onto this wall. But it's a model of light that isn't really made anymore, so I had to source that shit on eBay. But anyway, today I'm just gonna get ready with me. I'm meeting someone later in Hongdae, and not a Hongdae boy, but I've been so, you can also see I got rid of my red hair. I'm back to my natural hair color, which I want to go blonde again, but I figured for now, let me just rest for a bit and just go back to my natural hair color. And I really love the way it looks with pink. I've been so obsessed with pink. You know, when I had my red hair, I was so obsessed with warm makeup, but now I'm in my pink era. So I'm just gonna do a really pink makeup 할 건데. Yeah. So for skincare, I just put a little bit of a Laneige cream skin mist. But for my moisturizer, I bought this because of James Welsh. This S.NATURE Aqua Squalane, and I like it. But what I've been really into lately, and what has really helped my skin barrier, because girl, the fucking water in Texas is crazy. Like, it's really hard. So my skin always gets fucked up while I'm there. But what really helped was this cream, plus using a bit of jojoba oil, organic jojoba oil. You can use them separately, but I like to mix them just because I'm lazy. Oh Lord, not the booger, sorry. This is where I asked you guys, how have y'all been? You've been enjoying the, well, I swear, this heat is something else, y'all. Global warming is real. I was actually shocked. At first I was like, oh yeah, it's the typical summer, you know, Korean summer heat and humidity. But throughout the days, oh my god, that's also something I have to say. It was all right, obviously. I haven't been in my house for a month. My roommates did stop by for a little bit, but you know, before they left, they did the thing where they turn everything off, like all the lights, all the electric stuff, or whatever, which you would think to do. But also, one thing that they turned off was my goddamn freezer. They unplugged my freezer. What was in that freezer? Meat. Oh my god! I already had so much trouble getting back to America. My fucking American Airlines. Go fuck American Airlines. That place is fucking horrible. My flight from San Antonio to LA completely just canceled. So I couldn't make my Asiana flight from LA to Korea, so I had to rebook. I took both planes for American Airlines. Horrible. So many fucking delays. Anyway, came back home. I was already stressed out. I was tired, so I just fell asleep. But just the stress of knowing I had to start rearranging my house and everything, that added more stress. And then I opened my freezer. A box of just hot, rotted meat. Yup. Hot, rotted motherfucking meat, y'all. Thinking about it just stresses me the fuck out, so I'm just gonna stop talking about it. Next to a little bit of lip. I already have lip balm, but just for the video. You know, as beauty YouTubers, we're always trying to put shit in the videos. Peach Peptide Lip Balm in Coral Reef from Miss Glow. Girl, y'all saw the drama. Glowing, poom, bruh. I will say though, love this one. Love her. Use it all the time. Not really by itself. I always use it as a mixing thing to kind of soften the foundation, but also take out a lot of the yellowness that, because it's very neutral, right? This is like my typical foundation shade. That you see it next to it, you see how neutral this is. If I need to kind of take down the yellowness a little bit without fully using like a blue pigment, I'll mix it with this. So love her. But because of the drama, I got curious, so I actually bought the Poom foundation. And I will say, y'all, it's very fucking good. Very good for dry skin and dehydrated skin. It's very soft and plush. Plush is like the best word I can use to describe it. It's not like greasy, because there's a lot of like dewy, glowy foundation, but this one is moisturizing, but it's not like overly greasy looking, which I don't like because I have dehydrated skin. I'm dehydrated, but I'm not trying to get like super glowy foundation. If I anything, I'll get glow from other things. But yeah, anyway, I'll do like a comparison. I'll say I'll do it now, but I never end up fucking doing it. I'll do some video where I show both. For foundation, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna use this one. Let's calm down. I'm gonna use this one that I bought because of the Lipstick Lesbians. Saw them raving about this one, so I was like, oh, I want to try that. And to be honest, it's very much my style. Very full coverage, very, I'd say matte, but it's like a soft matte. I love these kinds for dehydrated skin because it keeps me matte, but it's like moisturizing on the inside, if that makes sense. So what I've been doing is really just taking, oh my God, hold up. I'm crazy. Hold up, let me just waste some product by pumping it out and immediately putting it onto a wet wipe. I forgot to color correct. I always be using that Sem Peach Corrector. But lately I've just been using this Malu Wilz concealer. It's one of the darker shades I have, but it's, on my skin tone, it's kind of orangey, which is nice. So it's not straight up orange. For some people, like, I don't know, like drag queens or whatever, or people that have really, really dark beards that are trying to get rid of it, they'll use like a straight up orange. But I could use a really orange corrector, but then you have to do a lot more work trying to cover up that orange. But this is the right amount of, I guess, peachiness orange for me, where I won't have to, when I cover it with my foundation, I won't have to cover it, right? Because technically it's a skin tone concealer, but because it's deeper than my skin tone, it's that right amount of peachy oranginess that I need. Also a little bit here under my eyes. I'm actually filming this. This is my second time filming this because my friend who's actually staying with me right now, he bought this like Canon camera that apparently all the Chinese girls in Xiaohongshu are using for their photos. Oh my, it's fucking booger, bro. It reminded me of, remember back in the day when I was vlogging a lot, when me and Joan were vlogging so much, and we were both using the Canon G7X. It just reminded me how much I like the Canon color science. Sony cameras are very green. I did a lot of color correcting for this shit so that it doesn't look so green, because Sony camera color science is based off really old technology, so it's very greenish. So yeah, it just reminded me of how much I miss Canon color science, because pictures and videos filmed with Canon cameras are so beautiful. But you can actually, there's different picture profiles, or I guess filters you can think of it as, on Sony cameras, and you can customize it. And so I tried doing that, and I thought it looked cute, but then I transferred the footage over to my computer and it was completely blown out. Like the colors it was basically white, right? I probably did something wrong, but basically I'm filming this shit again. Anyway, back to the foundation, the one I was supposed to be using. I really just take a tiny little, so full coverage, just a tiny bit on my finger, and I straight up just place it on these points of my face. I'm gonna use my cute little puff. I don't actually like this that much, but you know, just to switch things up. This is how the skin's looking super up close. Now that I have all this, I have this space dedicated for my filming, I can actually have a little, you can't fucking see it. There's a little monitor that you know, when I film my K-pop idol videos, I would have like a little monitor so I can see that we're in frame and it's filming. And so I'm able to use that now whenever I film here. because before I had no space because I was using my desk, my PC desk for filming shit, and there's like no space on there. Now, because I'm doing pinky makeup, for my particular skin, I have a very like 애매한 skin tone where everything tends to either look too orange or just looks too, it doesn't show up the amount of pink that I want. So I'm gonna be having to do a lot of color theory. Not really. In the center, I'm just gonna use a pink concealer. This is the Glow one. Because more so than that, you know, I'm doing pink makeup, so I'm gonna use pink concealer. More so than that, it's just that pinky whitish undertone is gonna help prevent, because I have quite, not, you know, besides having more neutral yellow skin, I also can get quite red in the center, which is what causes a lot of cool tone makeup to look warm tone on me. So to kind of prevent that, what I'm gonna do is, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Let me get a little tiny puff. I'm gonna use the pink concealer to almost, you know, how I always use a concealer here to brighten my face. Basically that. Basically that. Because also, blush can like darken on me over time throughout the day, so this will help prevent that. It's actually kind of extra, but I'm also using a separate puff. I'll use this one to apply, and then another puff to kind of, because these glow concealers, they're called the not dry concealers because they're very moist. They're very dewy, so they're fantastic for really dry skin. Because a lot of concealers tend to be more on the hard side, so they can, you know, cause a lot of dead skin to come up. But this one is just like the name, not dry. But it can be a little bit too oily sometimes, so I'll use this to remove the excess oil. If you don't feel like dealing with all that shit, or the glow concealer might be too expensive for you, then something that's very similar that isn't as glowy, so maybe if you have more oily skin, the Sam actually makes a brightening concealer, you know, their typical tip concealer. They make a brightening one, which I use all the time as well, especially for lighter and paler skin. So basically the same effect. It's like this if it was liquid form. You know what, while we're at it, let me just add some here. So in here. In here. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of shading. I bought this because Espa's makeup artist, Sam, Miss Unbi, she uses it all the time. There's like this particular content creator, I keep forgetting her name. Anyway, she's filmed with her several times, and whenever she does a nose contour, she always uses this one, so I will use it as well. She bought army pants and flip-flops, so I bought army pants and flip-flops. Sam actually just uses a concealer brush to apply this, so that's what I'll do. The reason, you know, you can just use cream, you can just use powder, but for my skin in particular, shit just tends to like disappear. If you find that nothing lasts on you, you may want to consider using both cream and powder together. But yeah, it's not like something everybody has to do. Because I really do feel like contour and like blush are like the two things that like disappear off your face first. Like that, just for a little bit of a shadow for before we put on the shading. Sometimes as well, if you, especially if you're the type that really likes to brighten your face a lot, or use a lighter foundation than your natural skin tone, and then you put contour on top of that, like a powder contour, can cause it to look patchy, especially if it's the colors, like your base is too light maybe, and then your contour's a little bit darker. Another tip I learned from Miss Unbi Sam, also put some on my face. Kind of pointless for me to do this shit because my bangs are gonna be down, but just for the video. Have you guys ever heard of the game Outlast? You know, the one that like all the YouTubers were playing because it's a scary game. Later on, they came out with Outlast 2, but then more recently, they came out with Outlast Trials, which is a kind of multiplayer online game. And you guys know I love my Dead by Daylight, but to kind of switch things up, me and my sister started playing Outlast Trials. It's basically where the whole concept is that it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you're down on a hard time, so you accept this ad for like this, experiment or whatever. Turns out these experiments were like torture trials, basically. I don't know, the story's really complicated, but it's basically you're this, no-name person that enters these trials, and you have to complete different tasks and shit while you have these basically enemies, monsters type things that are coming to try and kill you. So you have to like sneak around and all that. But it's basically, you can play it solo. You don't have to play it like with other people, but even though it's like 1 to 4 players, but I always play solo basically if I'm not playing with my sister. I've kind of been addicted to it. So if you're ever bored and are looking for a new game to play, you should try it out. I'm like so obsessed with like that kind of like horror aesthetic. It's extreme, it's like ultraviolet. There's like nudity and blood and girl, it's fucking crazy. But I don't know, I feel like it satisfies the psychotic side of me. I think that's why I like horror games so much. You know, besides my Final Fantasy and my Kingdom Hearts and my Persona. Okay, let's do the blush now. You guys are probably fucking tired of seeing this shit, but because I talked basically all last month, that's all I talked about because I was promoting my little box with HEMEKO, which by the way was actually quite successful. So everyone that was able to purchase the box, I hope you enjoy it. If you hate it, I'm sorry. But also that was when I realized that HEMEKO doesn't ship to every fucking country. And they're like, yeah, I thought it was obvious. I was like, not obvious to me. So if you couldn't get your hands on it, I apologize. But this has been like my I've been like obsessed with this Hearty Cheeks blush from AOU. Kind of like the counterpart, the warm counterpart to this one is Lukewarm Cheeks, and that one I use all the fucking time. But I was like, I want to do like more pink makeup, so I've been really into this one. Now, just like with the contour, like using a cream and a powder, what really set off me wanting to use pink blush was this Flower Nose blush, this shade of this like grapefruit pink. And it's very pretty, I love it, but it wouldn't last that long because, you know, my skin type. So I would combine it with this because they're kind of similar tones, kind of, and I just like the combination together. So this is originally a powder contour brush from okhee, Miss Okhee, Taeyeon's makeup artist, but I was at the shoot, the Parnell photo shoot with Miss Darcy, and I saw the makeup artist using this for cream liquid blush, and I was like, hold up, let me try that. It actually works really well because it's like a flat top, sort of like slanted kabuki type brush. Straight up, just like right under my eye, like right onto my aegyo. It has to be like right in there, because I would like normal. I'd be like, oh, I want to try that under eye blush, so I'll just put it right here. But it would go down too much, so you really have to get that brush in there. And this is the perfect shape. Like this little angle here like really gets under there. I will say, you know, I'm getting older, right? So I get the fine lines. So sometimes, if I'm honest, like after a long day, it will get into the creases and fine lines under my eyes. But I found that making sure I properly moisturize underneath my eyes, and I have been using like this retinol eye cream, so it helps. But sometimes it's just, you can't do anything about it, to be honest, like if we're completely honest. But you know what, honestly, it doesn't even really, like the color's so pretty, I don't even really see the kind of creasing that happens under my eyes. Also, I try not to go past here too much. It's really just like, and put a touch on my eyelids, whatever's left. I've been really into, I'll do like the under eye blush, and I'll add a touch here so it's not too much focus down here. By the way, future Edward here, if you want this look, but your skin tone is more maybe medium to tan or deeper, you feel like this might be too light for you, which this is good for obviously pale to light medium skin, which is, I'm light medium. If you want a similar look, these ones I found from e.l.f. are actually kind of similar vibes. These two from e.l.f., these two blushes, kind of in the same family, right? So if you have more medium to tan skin, Camo liquid blush in Pinky Promise would be really pretty. On my skin tone, this would be too pigmented, right? And I don't get that she was a fairy sort of like pinky vibe. And if you have deeper skin, Comin in Hot Pink would be perfect for you. You know, it's still that sort of like brightish pink that would give you that really cute vibe, but it will probably be better for your skin tone rather than this, which I've used this before. I've used it on Fatu of Black Swan, and it looked really pretty on her actually, but it was not this vibe. So if you want something actually more in your face for a deeper skin, then these two I would recommend. Now there's like two versions that I do of this. On days where I'm lazy or I don't really have much time, I'll just do the blush in my lips. But when I have a little bit of extra time, I'll do a bit of eyeshadow, but it's really just like 1 or 2 eyeshadows that are like in the same tone as my blush. And then I'm going to top off this cream pink blush with the powder blush. This is from Flower Nose Butterfly Cloud Color Collection. The blue in here is actually quite useful for brightening, and let's say I use like a color corrector that's a little bit too orange, especially like right here, and I get some on my nose. I'll use the blue to kind of fix the orange and that, because blue and orange are opposites. But anyway, the star of the show today is the pink blush in here. I take it on this Flik brush. It's also from HEMEKO. It's the multi-brush. You can use it for blush, highlighter. It's a very nice, small, but it's not too small. It's like the perfect size for any cheek work. Also, because the fucking pan is so small, I can get in there, and I can also get right underneath, because I put the cream blush kind of like a little bit wider, but this one, I kind of almost want, it's pink as well, but I kind of almost want to create like a bit of like a gradation, if that makes sense. So this will go like right. With the cream blush, I was like, oh, start here and I kind of blend downwards. But this one, I'm really just keeping like right under my eyes. Because I'm putting this powder on top of cream, this is going to show up a little bit more pigmented. And so I want the most amount of pigment to be in the center. Despite all this work that I'm doing, blush will still be the first thing to go on my face, like be the first thing to get absorbed by my skin. So I'm putting on quite a bit. Like that. Which looks a little bit crazy at first, but once everything's on there, it should come together, hopefully. Now I'm going to contour. I already did the cream, but now I'm going to do the powder. My typical fucking flower nose. From the same collection, as you can see. Ta-da! Sometimes it's good to do the contour after whether it's this kind of blush or whatever blush that you do, putting the blush first and then your contour. It's kind of been like the thing I've been doing lately. I don't know, because sometimes if you do contour first, which is what I used to do, sometimes when you put the blush on top, because you're blending the blush right, but then your contour slightly disappears. It's always good to do your contour more naturally, because in real life, contour can look really crazy. But also, it's kind of like a waste if it kind of completely disappears, I'm also taking some of that powder and kind of going here, because my brow naturally kind of creates a shadow there, so I'm basically just enhancing that. And adding a touch on my face, which, again, I don't need to do too much of, but mostly for my jawline, which I don't have. I got my dad's facial structure, which is to have very little to no chin. This part here feels a little bit like janky, so I'm just gonna use my puff to blend that out. It's always good to have your fucking makeup puff next to you to kind of correct and blend any areas. Sometimes if you just try to use the same brush you used to apply to blend, you're like trying to fix it, but you keep blending that shit farther and farther. So it's kind of like eyeliner, right? You fuck up your eyeliner, you're trying to fix it, but then you end up with the eyeliner all the way up to your fucking temples. Oh shit. This has been like a non-negotiable for me lately with my contours. I'll take that powder on a small little brush and give myself a Cupid's bow, because we all know I don't fucking have one. It makes a big, big difference. Because this part of my mouth is very flat in general. So I'm basically contouring this little V right here. Like that. And then I kind of hold the brush to its side and I contour this side. And this side. You have to be very careful, because if it's too pigmented, it can look like a little mustache. Like a little bit of a Hitler mustache. Yeah, just be careful. And then also, what I do is to kind of lift the sides of my mouth right here. These are the kind of... Some people will draw a straight line like that with like an eyebrow pencil or something, but I feel like this is a little bit more realistic looking. Like that. It makes it look like I'm kind of smirking. I'll probably go back to that later when I do the lip makeup, but for now, there. And then for my eyebrows, my bangs are gonna be down, so I don't have to do too much to this, but I'll just show you my current brow routine. I'm gonna use this one from Flortte. I love this one because it's like an angle, right? And with the way this contraption is set up, you can push out a little bit. When it starts to get a little bit dull, you can take a piece of paper to sharpen it again so you get that edge. Some at the front here, and then from here, This side is so fucked. I am so sorry. Whatever. Just ignore that. And then I'm going to take a powder. Normally I end it here, but lately what I've been doing is using a powder to mimic shadow. One of my favorite makeup artists on Xiaohongshu does this. She'll use the pencil to create the hairs and like to kind of mimic any missing hair. And then she'll use powder to mimic volume. To be honest, it's a little bit strong for this look. Maybe a more lighter brow would have been perfect, but whatever. Well, you know what I can do? It's kind of use a taupey gray brow mascara. Oh, that's my, if you're an OG subscriber, you remember my fucking white piano? She's back. My roommate, I lent it to my roommates for a while and they would make music with it, but surprisingly, they left it here. I thought they would take it, but I'm gonna use a taupey brow mascara just to lighten it without making it like blonde or anything. I don't know if that made a difference, but anyway. One thing that I bought because of Eunbi-san, because of aespa's makeup artist, she was like, oh, whenever she, you know, because she does aespa's tours and stuff, so they'll be traveling a lot. So she'll love Sephora and Ulta and stuff. And she was like, oh, I bought this and I really like it. And I bought it because of her. This NYX The Brow Glue. And to be honest, I'm glad I'm filming this a second time because I was trying it in the first time I filmed this video. I was like, oh my God, this is really great. But after the video, I realized it was not that great. It doesn't really hold the brow hair. At first, it feels like it does, but it's one of those like brow gels that's too soft. And so my hair, you know, I have Asian hair, so it's like, oh. And I feel like a lot of American brow gels do that. So I'm like, girl, give me that Asian brow mascara, girl. Shit that actually holds up. Like this one I use from Vanilla Co. This one actually holds your fucking hair up. The clear one from, this is Roman, this is one of the colored ones, but the clear one does a good job of holding up the hair. So I got scammed with that one. Oh, you know what? Let's do my egg eye. I'm gonna use my AOU brow product for my egg eye. This is like the only thing I will use for my egg eye these days. I like it too much. I don't think I've ever once used this for brows. Nice. Like I said, I told you before, like I don't really, there's some days I don't really do eyeshadow, but when I do, for this look, I love this 2AN Better Me Eye Palette in number 2 Fairy. It's like the perfect, soft, light pink. Because a lot of pinks, like light pink palettes can be too like whitish, which is fine for really pale light skin, but my skin is more light medium with more of like a neutral olivey yellow undertone. So I feel like this with a tiny bit of gray in there, these colors give me that sort of like a light pinkish look without looking like garishly whitish pink. But anyway, I'm just using these two pinks right here just for just on my lid here. To be honest, you could also just use pink blush on the eyelids, like a powder blush. That'll be fine too. But that's pretty much all I'm doing. Maybe adding a little bit of this like mauvey rosy pink shade here, out here. Not more than that though, because if I go any darker than this, I'm gonna lose that feeling of like light pinky airiness. And that's not what I want. Also a touch right here. Now, actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this. Actually, wait, hold on. Am I done? Do I want to put egg higher? Let me try this MAC paint pot in Painterly. I don't really feel like I need to brighten my egg side in any way, but this MAC paint pot shit is so good for egg higher. Like that. And I'll let that set. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this. I think I am. Saren already showed it on her TikTok. So these are Glow's new salt and pepper shaker highlighters. They're loose highlighters that come in like this packaging here. It's supposed to be inspired by salt, pepper, and sugar. This bluish toned highlighter is pepper, and also all the tops are very like salt and pepper shaker vibes. So they're all different. So the pepper one looks like this. 3 holes, same, just kidding. Salt is this pink highlighter, and the top on this one looks like, to be honest, it's a little bit big. I don't know why they chose that one for that. And the whitish highlighter is obviously Sugar, which is this. The top looks like that. To be honest, I think it would have been useful for all of them to just have this one, or maybe the 3-hold one, but I guess they're trying to, you know, create that salt, pepper, shaker scent vibe. And I believe they all come together. Like, I don't know if you can buy them separately, but obviously I'm gonna use the pink one. Salt. Let's see if I can. Now, obviously, highlighters are a very popular category, and most of them will come in just a powder, you know, like this. Typical highlighter format. But the one benefit I think to a loose powder highlighter is, I didn't do it today, but you guys know I love my goddamn this powder. Like a loose, like intense powder that will really fucking mattify your face. Love those because it makes your skin really blurred and matte, but they're not good for, because if you use those types of powders, it makes it hard to put blush, contour, and highlighter on top because the skin is so matte and dry that it just doesn't want to take any more pigment. But with these loose powders, they're really good for, I'm also gonna use the same brush I use for my blush. I'm gonna use this. This is good for putting on top of that really mattified base because it's loose powder, so it just goes on smoothly and pigmented enough. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Holy shit, that's really fucking pretty. The first time I filmed this video, I actually didn't use this. I used something else. But I'm glad I'm able to pull this out and put some on my lid right here. That is so fucking pretty. What I love about this is that it's obviously pink, but there's a little bit of like a warm-ish, warm sort of like iridescence to it. So it's not completely like a bubblegum pink, you know? But also it's not too warm because I also don't really like those really, really warm pink highlighters, which, to be honest, one of my beloved brands, HEMEKO, they have like this new collection, and this is the highlighter. And for me, it's pink, but it's too warm because there's a lot of gold sparkle in there, which I'm not a fan of. I do not like gold sparkle on me. But this one is like more of like a pinky coral, but still cool toned. So, you know, it being a loose powder highlighter can be a little bit difficult to work with, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's beginner friendly, but the effect is really fucking nice. So if you're you're the type of girly that you need to set your face like me, but you find that no powder shake on top goes on properly, this type of product is really nice. What also another annoying thing is that you have to, like, if you have like a little palette or a plate that you can dump this shit on, that would be good. But otherwise, you're gonna have like a wet wipe next to you so you can wipe your hands off after you use it. I'm also gonna use the white one, sugar, just a tiny bit. I say tiny. So, see the way it comes out? I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna use it on a tiny little fan brush. Oh, that's pretty. Do you see that? Ooh. 이쁜데? Oh, I like that. No more though. Actually, the tiny bit that I have left of this, I'll put it here. 이쁜데? That will be available on HEMEKO, so use my code if you want. I think. I don't know if it's available yet. Mascara? I guess I'll use mascara. My Dear Thing by Milk Touch in Mute Brown. Let's do lips. Now, before I actually do my lips, I'm gonna line them first. Glyph, Miss Chon Somi's brand, just came out with new lip liners. There's 3. I'm gonna use 2 of them. And she also came out with like this lip exfoliating thing, Bubble Eraser. It can erase both because it's an extremely long-wearing lip pencil, which is fantastic. But they came out with like a separate remover, but also it functions as a lip exfoliator. I used it before the video started and very smooth, my lips. They also came out with a new color of their glue gloss. Here are some of the original colors. They came out with like this really nice rosy shade, which the collection was kind of missing, and it's called Minglu, number 6. Anyway, there's a rosy pinky shaded lip liner and a peachy one. I'm gonna use the peachy one. It's not like a twist up or like a pencil, typical pencil. It's like one of these push up ones. So you push that and it comes out. It's a perfect color because I have like a bit of a gray ring around my lips, which many people do. You see how it kind of just lifts up that grayness? I've been testing this out for the past few days, and I really, really fucking like it. They also have like a contour shading one. Number 3, Mud Hug. Mud Hug? Anyway, you know, many K-beauty lip liners will have like this shade like this. Earlier, I already did contour my lips with powder contour, but you can use this. And to be honest, it's probably gonna last longer than that powder shading. So yeah, now whenever I do this pink look, there's many different lip colors that I like to use because I like options. So I'll show you all of them. The one that I often will pair with this because I want something moisturizing and hydrating is this Glow Recipe Glass Balm in Watermelon Bingsu. And it's just a typical lip sort of mask. So it's more nourishing, I guess. It's that sort of, you know, bright pink. And it's more on the sheer side. Obviously, it's like a lip mask. But for me, it gives me enough color. And I actually really love the effect it has on lips. So it's like a lip gloss, but because it's a lip mask, it's more 쫀쫀해. It's more hugging and more thick, right? Which I like. I know some people don't like thick shit on their lips, but I do, and that's one of them. Another one that I really like, that is another one of my go-tos, because it's in a lipstick format, so it's really easy to just tap on my lips. It's from this collection, the Butterfly Cloud, whatever collection. This is number C06. And it's actually more on the muted side, so it's not as like in-your-face pink. It's more of like a soft, rosy pink. Very soft summer vibes. Also, by the way, my Steam name is Soft Summer Slut, so if you're playing Dead by Daylight and you ever come across a player called Soft Summer Slut, that's me. There's also this glue gloss from Glyph. It's in the shade So Me Honey. You know, very kind of like bubblegum pink in a way, but it's has a little bit more gray in there, so it's not super light. But, you know, similar family of like, oh, so pretty. Kind of looks like that, this Bingsu one, Watermelon Bingsu from Glow Recipe. This is probably the thickest one out of all of them, so it really, really lasts on the lips. One that I don't really use it by itself, but I'll actually use it in combination with this lipstick, is this Flower Nose Gloss from their more recent Shell collection, number P05, because it's a really cute little, same thing, pink, right? Like a lightish pink, kind of on the not thick side, not thick, like sticky thick, but just like thick enough that it will last a little bit longer on the lips. I feel like if a moisturizing lip gloss formula is too light, the lips kind of just absorb it, and so your lips end up looking dry after a few minutes. That one is not as thick as the Glyph one, but it's getting there. And one of the other ones that's like one of my go-tos is obviously Bubble Balm, but I figure you guys would be sick and fucking tired of AOU. This one I always keep on my keyring with me, so I always have this to touch up with. But it's that girl, that kind of like light pink with this is a little bit not deeper, but it's more opaque than some of because a lot of these are very sheer, and so because this has more of like an opaque color to it, it feels almost like darker in a way. But I just tap it a little bit with my finger, and I get more sheer application. So you know, still same bubblegum pink family. If you're not a fan of like dipping your finger, they do actually have a version of this. Currently, there's 3 colors on it. There's a new BB one. You know, my favorite AOU balm, the BB balm. This is the chunky balm. Was it the glowy chunky tint balm? This is the new BB color. It's not a new color. It's just newly put this color in this format. But it's basically the same thing, but just it comes with an applicator. You know, very Sea Beauty reminiscent. Apparently, some people were giving them shit about like, oh, that's nothing new. Who said it was new? Anyway, they originally came out with number 1 Apple Balm and number 7 Bubble Balm in this format, but they just recently released BB Balm. Yeah, if you're lazy and you don't feel like dipping your finger, you want something like a tool with it, then I like that. 근데 I think for today, I kind of want to do the Somi one. Because that one's a little bit, I mean, obviously I'm doing a pink makeup, but I want something not as pink, if that makes sense. That one felt a little bit brighter with this look, so I'm gonna use this one. Oh yeah, it's much better. Also, the thing with these glue glosses, because they're so fucking thick, if you have a lot of dead skin cells, what happens is kind of like a lip mask. Remember like the one that I made, or like the Etude Overnight Ginger Sugar whatever lip mask. If you wear it throughout the day, it actually will exfoliate your lips. Like it will cause the dead skin on your lips to swell up and kind of come off. So do be aware of that. I don't think it's a bad thing, but you know, something to keep in mind. One step I always make sure to do, especially when I'm doing a really glowy lip, is to either take my finger or some kind of lip brush and really smooth out the edge. Because yeah, you know, we love a glowy lip or whatever, but if the edge is overly shiny, it can look a little bit like too much. Kind of look like you're trying to be more brand friendly. But it kind of looks like you're sucking cock. Which, who said that was a bad thing? I do this whether it's a matte lip or a glossy lip anyway, so, yeah. Anyway, there's my pinky. Actually, last snap. This has been fucking saving my ass, y'all. In this goddamn Korean heat and humidity, this has been the one. So, talk about all the drama today. There was the Glow and Poom drama. There was also the Urban Decay and Scandinavia drama. Basically, they have their famous all-nighter spray, the famous setting spray. Love that one. It really seals shit in. But the formula was actually originally developed by this brand called Scandinavia. If you look at the bottle, the original bottle, it says by Scandinavia. Recently, Urban Decay was being weird, and so they wanted to separate and just make all the money, because obviously, because of Scandinavia's formula, they wanted they took a share of it, right? Whatever they made a sale. So Urban Decay was being greedy, and they're like, oh, they basically just reformulated themselves to sell it separately, so it's their own formula. And so Scandinavia gets nothing, and they ended that relationship. But they've been going at it on social media. Scandinavia has been in Urban Decay's comments talking about like, oh. So, you know, because Urban Decay was being a bitch, I was like, you know what, let me try the original, because Scandinavia also just has their own sprays available like on Amazon or their website, and I've always heard lots of good things about the Scandinavia, specifically the bridal version of their makeup finishing spray. And the technology in this is basically, it cools down the skin, as well as, besides just setting and fixing your makeup, it cools down the skin, which for me, I've always said many times, there's two things that really fuck up your makeup throughout the day. It's one, obviously, if you have oily skin, the oil, but two, the heat of your skin. There's a lot of people that have really red, hot skin, and that can really cause your makeup to not last as long. And Scandinavia created this technology that cools down your skin, that helps your makeup last longer. But long story short, you get a lot of product in here. It's much cheaper than the actual Urban Decay one. So that's why I got this. But bought it because I want to try it, and it's been saving my ass, y'all. Not the finest spray, but it's doable. But this really, like, I'll put this shit on in the morning, and like, it's straight, like, no lie. Like, I've wanted this to not work, so I can be like, oh, it's just okay, but it makes a huge difference. Even if you're not getting married, which is me right now. The bridal version of this is fan-fucking-tastic. So if you have an issue with your makeup just not wanting to set, or maybe you're a makeup artist and you want your client's shit to stay, that one's a good one. There is my pink makeup look. I think it goes really well with, like, because I'm a soft summer, so black is actually not in my palette. But I've been really into, ever since my red hair, you know, I've been, you know, let me go back to wearing black. So I love the way, though, it looks. Black, pink in your area. I like the pink cheeks with this. So, but also in general, if you are either neutral olive, or if you have like a lot of red in your skin, this type of pink would look so pretty on you. That more like purpley pink would look super pretty, because it helps counteract the redness. Because otherwise everything will look orange on you. Which, I know I demonize the color orange on this channel, but that's not necessarily bad. But if you're a cool tone girly like me, and you really want the actual cool tone, colors like this would be really pretty. Anyway, also that shine is fucking amazing. Yeah. Sorry I haven't been posting in a while. Now that I have my dedicated filming space, I'm gonna be filming more for you all that need that background noise, y'all. That background noise. So stay tuned. See you guys later, and have a good one. Bye. Poppy, poppy, poppy. Love. Getting old.